Good work. Please commit break time now.
And we're live. Hello, my friends. How are you? Welcome to the Bookbrush Introduction. This is Kathleen Sweeney, my guest, and she is the incredible person that keeps featuring wonderful things Bookbrush for us. If you've ever been to Bookbrush and taken any of their classes, it's usually Kathleen doing that. So feel free to say hi in the chat, and she's going to start introducing us to the custom creator first. Absolutely. There you go. You are now host. Hello? Yes. Give me 1 second, Kathleen. We're having another technical issue. Okay. Are you guys hearing me okay? Somehow we have frozen on. That is not refreshing. I apologize. They can't see us. We froze on the. Okay, I think we got it fixed. And then I am going to change one more thing. That should fix that. Okay, can you guys hear Kathleen now?
I'll give it a test. Can you hear me now? I'll keep talking for a minute. Okay. I thought, well, maybe I should keep rambling, and I'm good at rambling. So we could do that. All right. So I'll back up a little in case we missed some of the beginning part. So I'm Kathleen Sweeney with Bookbrush. I'm the marketing lead and customer service manager here. And I love to show off the tools that we have for authors. And so there are a lot of nice design tools out there, but they're not all necessarily author centered. So every time you turn around in Bookbrush, you'll find things that are reading, book, author related. And so it's a great platform for you to explore. We're jumping here into the custom creator first. And if you're exploring the tools for the first time, you can sign up. It's bookbrush.com and create 15 graphics for free. So it gives you a chance to try things out. In the tool, you can create graphics from scratch, or you can use templates. So we'll talk about both of those options in here. We'll talk about the different sizes here if you're starting from scratch. So there's Facebook, for example, and you can go down and see all these different sizes and things. And they all have the dimensions and pixels underneath, so you don't have to go out and scramble around and find out what size you need. Twitter sizes, Instagram, Pinterest, BookBub, and Amazon A+ content. So we'll make sure to talk about that here while we're doing Custom Creator. We've also partnered with Atticus, which is a separate formatting tool, but the part you can do in Bookbrush are the fun stuff, the ornamental page breaks, the image elements and graphics like chapter art and things like that, and then upload those over into Atticus. Yes. If there's a lot of ways that you could spend your time, and that could be a really fun way. So there's that. We have different things under card, like business cards and postcards. And under other, you can do bookmarks, coasters, book plates, all kinds of cool things. So I'm going to start with just a Facebook ad just to show you how you could assemble this, but you can do it with any ad size. So we'll click Facebook. And then the steps on the left, you can do in any order. So we have background, book template, text, images, and elements. I'm going to start with book template just because it gives you a lot of things to look at in here. There are over 200 3D versions that you can drop your 2D cover into. And so if you're wondering where do people get those 3D versions, it could be right here in Bookbrush. And let me show you, there are filters since there are a whole bunch. There's physical book, for example, ebook. And you'll probably notice here the ebooks are positioned so they face every which way, whereas the physical books in here are positioned so you don't see the spine. And we do have some spine options now, but for the most part, we make it really easy just to bring that 2D cover in and magically turn it into 3D. Options with phones, audio options, hands, which basically means there are hands attached to the book or the device, which kind of makes it cool for graphics. A whole lot of cover reveal options. And I'm going to talk about cover reveal twice in here. So these are preset options. You can drop your cover in, and there's cool stuff in here. We'll come down, there's rips, puzzle pieces, rocks, and cool things. And then when we get to elements, there's a separate cover reveal option. With many things in Bookbrush, there's more than one way to do things. So we've got those. Under other, some cool things, you can put your book in a picture frame or Polaroid picture, as well as some computer options. So as you're thinking about marketing your whole self, you could take screenshots of your Amazon page, your YouTube channel, your blog, your website, put them into these computer screenshots, and then advertise your whole self. All right, are there questions or anything? Are we good? Okay, children's sizes in case we have any children's authors in the house today. And then I want to hop down to Kindle Vella. So if you are doing Kindle Vella, you probably already know it's a square story image that they display as a circle. But there are also then a bunch of cool marketing options for it. So if you are doing Kindle Vella and want to create graphics, we have you covered with these. New multi-devices, which are pretty cool. So when you click those, your book populates in all of those. And then the spine option here as well. So we're going to do a multi-device. So we'll click on one. And then I put in one of Katrina's books for us here. If you're new, you can just do drag and drop or click to upload to put your book cover in. But I'll click hers. And then with this spinning, that usually means the magic is happening here in Bookbrush land. It just takes a minute to convert. And check it out. Here we have the 3D version, and you can adjust with the slider in the top stripe. My favorite way to resize is probably to hold shift and resize, and then you can place it wherever you want to. So that's kind of a neat option. And then we'll continue with our graphics. So we'll click over on the left for background. You can search millions of free images. You can upload your own. We rotate through some sample search topics too. So like fireworks are in there for now. I am going to search explosion as an idea. And then you have these, they source from Pixabay, and you can just click in and put in different kinds of graphics to see how you like, how they might look. And I love to play around with this. We talked at the beginning about things are a time suck. Here you go. This could be one of them, but you can try like all kinds of cool things. And then like with this one, for example, I can click it and I could flip it horizontally if I like that to go the other direction. So make that work for you. So I didn't read this book, but I'm going to go with this background. We'll keep it in here. You can do some like blur, which can be neat. I like the idea of blur because then what's in focus is your book cover. And so the reader's eye can be drawn right to your book cover. So next we'll head down to text on the left, click add a new text box, and we will just put in what? A page turner. And we'll put that as our quote or our text. And you can move that around wherever you want to in here. And then I want to talk briefly about font. So when you're editing your text, you have the top section for the text itself, and below that is the text background. But you get to choose the font here. And so we have all of these different fonts to choose from, default fonts. But at the top, you can also click add more fonts. And there are 1,000 fonts to choose from. These are free for commercial use and kind of a nice way to find something that suits you and your genre. And you can also filter, pick different things. And I can click one and then it will add to the list. And while we're on the topic of font, I'm going to click over to probably one of my favorite blog posts that we have. And I'm going to put it into the chat here, which then I think Katrina can get for everybody. So here's what we have. There are tips for graphics, but the part I really want to highlight here are these font pairings. So if you're not certain, what fonts to use for your graphics, this can point you in the right direction. So there's romance, mystery, thriller, fantasy, historical, sci-fi, horror, children's, and holiday as well. This can basically help you, like if you're doing a romance graphic, you don't want to choose a font that gives off a horror vibe because it can be confusing for your readers. So if you're looking to package this all up to suit your genre and you're not sure about fonts, this can be a fun option for you to kind of peep through here. We also post font pairings on the last Friday of the month. So for example, yesterday we had a new font pairing on, I think, Instagram and our Facebook page and our Facebook group. And those are some of my favorite posts because it's always neat to see what the font pairings are. So just a little blurb about fonts. And I'm kind of a font nerd, so I think those are kind of fun. So just to see, I did a just added font here, and then we can center it. And move it around if we want to. And you can add multiple text boxes, but we'll just go with that one. I'm going to jump down to elements because you can do these things in any order. And one of the neat things about elements is it can kind of help you highlight things like, for example, this text box. You could put a background on it, but you can also try like a shape or a blob. So if you go in for a shape, you can try this one. I'm going to make it larger. So I double click to get to the editing tools here. And it could color match. And I love to talk about the color picker. So it's currently like a dark brown or dark gray. Click the little eyedropper and we could get like this burnt orange back here. We're going to send it behind with those little arrows and do some blur, even some transparency if you want, but it can kind of help make that pop by putting that shape behind there, and we can make it larger and position it differently. But consider using some of those elements in there to highlight things. They could go behind your book and things too, to change it up. Also in the elements, we have these individual cover reveals. So if you want to choose just a straight facing iPad or a physical book, you could place these on top and then you're in charge of what's revealed. And also you can pick the color and those kinds of things. So that gives you a different option than the preset cover reveals. They're both cool, but there's a different option for you. So people have a lot of fun with these. It doesn't have to be hard. So if you are scared of book marketing and making graphics, Bookbrush can make it like a fun thing for you to do that you might even look forward to instead of dreading. So we'll turn that around and make marketing the fun part of the process. I'm going to hop into images too. So there's a lot of great stuff in here. You'll find 3 tabs. So the community stamps are for everybody, like the Amazon. You can click more from Amazon and add an Amazon stamp if you want to. Lots of things in here. The bookshelves are popular to line up for the top of a newsletter or a Facebook page. There's, let's see here, seasonal stuff. Color blurs are fun. The text ones, all this stuff. So pre-made text stamps that you can use. So look through here. The community stamps are here. My images is where you bring in your own, like for example, a picture of yourself, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and then searchable as well. So lots of stuff in there. Then this is like we just created our first graphic. So then you'll go to the top, click save as a project. So that's going to save it in your account. So when you come back in another day, you can make some little changes to it if you want to. And then you'll go ahead and click download, and you can download as a PNG, JPEG, or a PDF. So there's your first graphic. Now, what a lot of folks like to do is keep the same look and feel across multiple platforms. So if you click back to add size and do the Instagram size, for example, everything's still here, so don't panic. We have what we call the eye icon in the lower right corner. So you can see the bits that are outside here. And I'm just going to quickly resize within this new space. And there are centering tools, so you could click in the lower right, there's grid lines and then centering tools. So if you want to make sure these are right in the center, you don't have to eyeball it. And then you've got your second graphic that stays on brand for you because it used all the same elements, and you can save that one and download as well. So if you were doing the free plan, that would be 2 downloads. And if you're on the paid plans, you have unlimited downloads. So you can just get crazy and make a lot of graphics. So that's creating from scratch. Next, we'll look at the templates, but let me know if there's any questions on anything so far. And I will have a little coffee to fortify myself.
If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm able to talk to Kathleen about that, and that's a wonderful thing. I'm happy to pass it on. I know this has been, I know I told you this back in March, and I have said this to anybody who has watched me do this. I find this to be such a time saver. It is an incredible tool. Recently started doing one stream every week or every 2 weeks where I will ask my chat a big streaming question or a big writing question, and then I will sit here with the custom creator, just like you've done, and I will create Twitter graphics with their quote. Here is what Dazzlecat said about why she writes, or here's what author Brian Liu said about streaming and the value of Twitch streamers, or my favorite floating around somewhere on the interwebs now is mine. If you don't have Bookbrush, there's something wrong with your planning.
That might be my favorite too. I love it.
It's just, it does take up a lot of my time, but not because it takes me hours to create one image. It's because I end up with literally 100 images the last week. I downloaded 100 of the mock-ups, which I know you're going to show us.
We will, yep. And that's the great part with the paid plans, because you can have tons of graphics, flood social media, and they're pretty quick to do. And you have unlimited downloads. So what we did here was creating from scratch. So next we'll look at templates. So if you just feel like you don't have a creative bone in your body, or you use up all your creativity writing, we've got you covered for those. So I'll click over on the left into templates and projects just to show you where we have these saved. And then next door are community templates. Lots of great stuff in here. Let our graphic designer do the work for you. And you can use these different things. And as you can see, we kind of rotate through seasonal items in here. So we've got, so we're still in June. So there's some of the Pride Month graphics, and then floating into July, some different graphics for that too. So I can't resist an American flag graphic. So we'll grab this. All you would have to do is click the yearbook cover goes here, click swap covers in the top stripe, and put your book cover in and download. But you can also feel free to edit whatever you want to. So if, for example, it's not on sale for 99 cents, you can click that text box, change the price, or simply delete it. And then, like, if you wanted to change it to Independence Day reading instead of savings, and maybe change it to a different font that suits you, you can do that. And then go ahead and save as a project and download. So if you want fun seasonal graphics, these are a really nice place to start. And you can edit everything in there. So those are in the community templates. And just a quick look, because there's thousands, you can do some filtering on the left. So you can filter by genre, and this can be multiple. So if you need sci-fi and you want to check the fantasy as well, you can do both of those. And then under platform, this is really a gold mine too. So carve out a little time and dig in here. Of course, you're going to see Facebook ad, BookBub ad. And remember, you can change the size, when you take them into the custom creator. But then, like, other interesting things under business card, you could redo your business card, your email header, lots of things in there. A whole section called launch party. And remember, you can change. So if you don't want that particular cover reveal, you could pick something else. And then we have templates for Atticus. So we kind of talked about Atticus. There's some starting points in here. And then the book plates down here too. So lots and lots of cool stuff that you can edit and put your personal spin on. So check out all of those options. And these are on the free and paid plans. So if you're just starting out for free, you can use these as some of your 15 free downloads. Next, I'm going to show a couple of paid features here. So we're going to go into collections. And we'll talk about the animated mockups and the animated email signatures in here. And how are we doing on time? Are we?
I think we have about 10 minutes.
Okay, I can fit these in here, so that'll be good. The animated mockups are pretty amazing because they combine animation, video background, music, and your book all in one handy meme. So we'll just I've got beachy things on the brain. Katrina and I are both in Illinois, I think, and it is not beachy here. So we need a dose of beach. So I'm going to swap this cover, and here's how it'll look. Once the book gets in here, I will push play in the top stripe and prepare to be amazed here. Here we go. Could you hear it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
For sure. And that would be why I ended up with 100 downloads the other day. Because
these are so fun. And you could personalize this. So if you wanted to change the color, the wording, the font, even the size, like you could click back over to add size and adjust. If you wanted it more of a square, just resize what's in there. And then these download as an MP4. So because there's animation and video and so forth, they're an MP4. And then you can post them anywhere that accepts an MP4. But they're super cool and fun and eye-catching, and they're done for you. And we add new ones each month, so you can always come through here and see, and consider, like, this one says Happy Halloween, but you could change that to some mystery wording. So don't feel like it's just seasonal. I don't even have to put the book in, but we can push play. So we'll pause it there, and you can shorten these, but picture that with some different, some suspenseful wording that's not Happy Halloween, and then you can use that year round. So those are some cool options for folks.
Yeah.
And then I'll do the animated email signatures, but is there anything else on the animated mockups or questions?
Do you have any specific questions for animations?
You can also animate your own graphics. So the one we created together at the beginning, you could click on each element and do animation. And those are nice too, but these are a quick down and dirty option for you.
Yeah, this was when I did mine. I ended up downloading a mix of animated and non-animated mockups because it was that easy. I just picked the book and picked the template and called it a day. The other thing that I love and that I will highly recommend to anybody who's working with their branding is that there's a branding option that you can set up ahead of time and tell Bookbrush, I want to use these fonts, which is where, her font sharing earlier is absolutely glorious. Um, and then those fonts are going to replace all that text. Need to escape and read a book? That could be Neo Latina instead, which is the one I usually use for mine. Instead of I forget the name of that, and I did check that yesterday because I really liked that one. Yesterday, day before yesterday.
Sure.
Uh, but yeah, because you could look at these, they are very cool and they're very very quick.
You can
Uh,
really impress your followers. They'll think you
mm.
spent hours on this and you didn't.
When we shift into the Be Right Back screen, you will see a video, a trailer that essentially a video I made with Bookbrush. So for those who are not aware, we're going to go to break here in a few minutes. I'm going to go into the Be Right Back. There is a really cool moving spaceship and then a really cool text that comes across the bottom that says, we'll be right back. There's also 31 days. There might be a 31 days nod in case you guys are looking for a challenge later this summer.
Awesome. Let's peep the animated email signatures while we still have a
Mm-hmm.
few minutes here. So these are all put together for you where you can just put in your information. So we'll push play, no sound on these or anything. But it's not really a secret that you're going to try to email readers to sell books. So if your email can stand out, that can really be helpful. You would just click each text box. So, I can put this in, pick my branded font, my colors, all those things, and then substitute the book covers here. The thing I want to talk about is this isn't a picture of me or Katrina. And if you want your picture in, it's easy to do. So that can be done if you click images on the left here and do the my images. Now I'm already in here, but I want you to see the whole process. So I will bring this in. And it drops my picture in, and then we'll use the background removal tool. So we'll click the three little dots here in the upper right corner, click remove background. And this process uses artificial intelligence to peel the background away from an image. Usually I use it with people the most, but an animal, a product, a vehicle. So we can delete this person. And then I'm in here as an element, so I can add filters and lighten things up and change them. I would send myself behind here, all the items. And then the animation we can add, and maybe I want to fade in down. And then here we go. Quick and easy to do. There's other ways to do it out in the world, and it's hard. This is a really easy option for you. You could use it in other graphics, but the animated email signature is one neat option that's there for you. So I wanted to highlight those, and then do we have another minute or two? Or we need to, I don't want to be in the middle of, okay, so we can do the get ready for the break probably.
Probably
okay.
The timing. All right, my friends, we are going to head over to break. We are going to be right back. As I said, we're going to go over to the Be Right Back screen so you guys can check that out. It took me about 15 minutes to make that, and that's just because I was picky about which picture I was picking. You guys will find there is so much that you can do with this, and if you really take your time with it, you can make some really awesome stuff. And Kathleen's just barely started showing us what this program can, what this service and series of programs can do. And as far as that background removal tool, I have seriously uploaded pictures and remove the background to use in other programs too. So it's a really good background removal tool, guys. All right, my friends, we are going to be gone for about 10 minutes, give or take a little bit, so you guys can watch the animation for a little bit, and we will be back to talk more Bookbrush. Welcome back, all. I hope you got up, took a walk, had something to drink, stretched a little bit. We're in for a long day of conduit awesomeness and more great stuff from Kathleen, who's got so much more to show us, and I'm so excited. I hope you also took the moment and looked at the trailer I made. I think that the trailer, the video I made, it took like 30 minutes, like I said, but I was really, really picky about the picture, so that's part of it. That was the biggest part of it. Whew. So thank you so much, Kathleen, for coming to do this with us today. I love how much you can do with this program. I don't know if I've said that enough or if I showed that enough to this community. Okay, sounds good. And if you wanted to do, if you've got anything that we get to the point at the end that you want to come back after another break, we are happy to have you. I'm thrilled. Like I said, I've been using Bookbrush now for a while. Uh, and anybody who doesn't know, I started with Bookbrush right after they kind of started. And I did sign up for the free account, and then I got a lower end paid account. And then when I was working with a bunch of different people, I did actually have a publisher account briefly. And then they released trailers, and I wasn't on a publisher level account to use trailers. I couldn't justify staying at that level. I wasn't helping anybody at that level or at any significant level at that point. And so, at least with this kind of stuff. So it was easy to go, okay, I'm just going to do mine. Because those trailers are totally worth it. They are such a time saver. Or the book trailer program template creator is so helpful. Mhm. Oh, mm, it is. Trying to see if I could just make this got allow multiple pins, allow record local files, and assign who I want to start typing. I'm that I'm oh, there it is. There it is. I didn't actually. There we go. Okay. Fabulous. Hmm. All right, everybody, please bear with me. Zoom just crashed. We will. Okay, Zoom crashed for a moment. I have got to refresh the image again to make sure it's picking us up. Should only take a moment. Oh, okay. That was weird, but okay. It's working. Yeah. And of course, today would be the day we're going to have technical issues. So, yes.
I think you get the idea there. There's a few seconds left, but we'll push pause there. So with this book trailer, if you look at what's here, there's basically 4 different background images or videos and maybe 4 different text boxes. So you're going to substitute your graphics or video choices. So if you think about that, you can make this really work for any genre because you're picky. So if you're doing romance, you're picking even the level of heat on the things that the types of graphics you choose. For mystery or suspense or thriller, if you need a lot of blood, no blood, whatever you need in those graphics, like you can make it work. So I'll show you how we can do this with kind of like a sci-fi look. I'm going to click at the bottom for get started. And then these circles at the bottom, each of these little circles, these are the different backgrounds and text that we're going to edit. So the first one is a music note. So that's easy. That's the music. This is the only place in Bookbrush where you can pick the music and where you can upload your own. So we saw those other animated mock-ups and they're pretty cool, but they are what you hear is what you get. This one gets you free choice. So we've got bright, emotional, epic, romantic, dark, plus the My Music to upload your own. So if we look through here, we can play some. And you can play through to see what you like. I'm going to do Supernova. Now let's say that's the one I want. I can push the plus button next to it and just substitute in that music. And then you're going to click next in the lower right and just work your way across. So next we're looking for the first background video. So you'll see 4 tabs on the left, search and saved with video and search and saved with an image. And we can look for outer space here. And then just hover over each one to see or click and put it in. So we'll click next. Now here on the passages, I'm going to leave it where it says your passage here, but I'll choose a different font. So we can come in and try like Orbitron is more of a sci-fi, and they'll go down to like 58 for the size because it's a little bit larger font. Click next, pick another sci-fi video or outer space theme. Click next. Again, I'll leave your passage, but we'll do Orbitron font. Make that a little smaller as well. Click next. Now the first 2 we did videos, so we can also do an image, and then the image will have like an animation effect. So both of them are really cool. So I don't want you to miss out. So we can do outer space here as well. And both the videos and the images sourced from Pixabay. So we can put in an image, click next. So it's kind of repeating your way through. This will go down to Orbitron as well. And one more. And that one I need to resize a little bit. Click next. And then we're on the book template. So we'll put in this one. And then I wasn't timing this, but it's just been a couple of minutes and we just made our own book trailer. So we'll take it from the top here and you can see. So I'm going to push stop and we'll go and play our new creation. Pause for a second. You're also in control of where these end up. So if you feel like it would look nicer with the video you chose elsewhere, you can move it around. So you get to personalize that. Pausing again. It's hard to get the full effect, but I need you to know different stuff as we go along. So the first 2 were videos. This is one of the images that's just moving. So you'll sense the difference here. All right, so how cool was that? So just picture whatever your genre is and your book is about, you're picking the images and the videos that go in there so you can really create something that suits you. And then these just download as an MP4. So they're pretty easy to do, even if you're not tech savvy. Now this is easy mode. I will dip over to advanced in the top stripe simply to show you what's already there. So this whole timeline down here is done. and you're just substituting like the font that you want, the text, images, things like that. And then this is going to hide, zoom in left, hide again. This one's going to hide for longer, like it has a job, and then it'll zoom in. So this is where you can come in and do editing. So if you are a little techie, you can toggle between easy and advanced and make changes. You could add more books. If you want all of them to zoom in left, you could change so each one does that, and put your personal spin on those things. So it's pretty cool and easy to do. So that is a book trailer. And I don't know, we'll have to ask Katrina if she started from scratch or used a template, because you can do either one.
I've done both. I do tend to prefer to start from scratch personally, and I do play with the advanced settings more than I do the easy settings. I self-published means control freak. I'll wear my badge as accurately as it is.
And that doesn't surprise me, because I figured you probably came in here and started from scratch, and it doesn't take long to get comfortable. Once you do something in easy mode, then you'll know, and you'll probably want to take the reins and work. And this is also, I don't know if you folks have folks who are doing TikTok, but if you are, you can start that vertical size in here and make TikTok sized ones. This would be easy to do. I'd probably start from scratch since you're going vertical, but you could definitely do that in here as well.
Totally worth it. Still only takes you a few minutes. I have sat down and made 4 videos with this, with the TikTok in mind, in about the same amount of time it took me to make the other one. Particularly because what I did was I looked at those mock-up templates that you guys have and just took some of the inspiration from that and replicated that in what I was doing. Just more from exactly what I was aiming for. But it cut the time down significantly by having that point of reference. And to do 4 in 30 minutes is really awesome.
That's outstanding. And not that she's not talented, but I also think everyone can do that once you get familiar.
Yes.
It's not high level. Our whole point in Bookbrush is to make this an easy for authors to use and then get back to writing more books. So you don't have to spend all your time doing these graphics.
No, and it only, when it took me 10 minutes to make them, it took me 10 minutes to make them because I didn't have to do the work that I would have had to do in any other program.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right. I'm going to cram more in here because I know we wanted to do instant mockups, which we haven't done yet. And if we have time, I'll do the Amazon A+. So I'm going to keep rolling, but are there any questions that folks had posted in there for you on the trailers? We can always come back, but.
You're 100% correct, Brian. This is a must-have site. It is 100% worth it. I know back in March, she did a great introduction for our community. I had to get her in here for Conduit, and I'm hoping to talk her into doing a couple more for us this year, because I can't even begin to tell you how incredible this is. You guys have only gotten a glimpse at what these programs can do.
I'll go back to home and we'll get more stuff. We can fit more in here. So we'll talk about instant mockups. This is probably the most popular tool, which you might find surprising because the other things we've done are pretty cool too. But this one, people really love this because you can do so many things at once. So we have an original version, which didn't go anywhere, but I'm going to go into the 2.0 version, which is like instant mockups on steroids. And when we talk about the plans, so these are on paid plans. After free, there are 3 tiers plus gold and platinum. This one is on the middle and the top. So if you're thinking about doing an upgrade, I'm going to have a coupon code here at the end, and this is on gold and platinum. So we'll go in here to the 2.0 version. And if you hear people talk about like flat lays or mock-up images, this is what they're doing. They're probably not setting it all up in their kitchen or their bedroom and making tea and putting rose petals down. They're not. They're bringing a 2D cover in here and magically turning it into all of these cool things. So I'm going to choose, let's actually do dynamic. So there are just the plain ones, but the dynamic ones I think have a lot to offer. So I'm going to click through here and I'll scroll so you get a bit of a look as well. I'm going to do a couple can't help myself with the 4th of July. They're just so pretty. And as I'm clicking, they're adding down here to the bottom so you can see. And then let's get some
One of
vertical.
one
Oh, go
of
ahead.
the quick numbering tools, if you really need a bunch, are those lovely collections. They are fabulously themed, and you can unselect something if you don't like it or select it out of the
We'll look at
collections
those
too.
too after this because those are really we've done all the work for you. You'll still have fun, but we combined like things with a beach and vacation, holiday theme, all for like get your book on somebody's to be read list for the summer by showing them in these great scenes. So I think I clicked 6 here. We'll go with this. So I'll click next in the lower right corner. And here you've got all your graphics. So you click your book. And this is the great part about these. You get to see your book in it before you download. So that's been really nice. And then she talked a little bit about branding these. So here's where you can choose a preset on the left if you've completed your brand kit. But if not, even here like primary font. If your favorite font is Happy Monkey, and why wouldn't it be? Because that sounds really cute. You can click it. And everything that was identified as the primary font now just changed to Happy Monkey. So you can quickly make all of these graphics that are on brand for you. Like it just helps reiterate that to your readers. And then you can do some light editing, like here with this lower right, I can move it around. And then you can do additional editing on each one. So this top one on the left, I'm going to click the pencil at the top. And then you can move this. And like in this case, if you wanted it bold and much larger, you can do that. And then this one happens to have like, you can see there's this blur back here. You could move it down, adjust how you want it. And maybe in this case, you want your book just a little bit larger because it's the star of the show. You can do that. And then click Save Edits and go back. And so you're able to make those quick little changes. Same thing on the next one, like 50% off. Maybe it's not 50% off. So that's no problem. You can click that. Reading on the 4th of July. So you could change how that works. Maybe there's not a discount. Adjust the letter spacing if you want to. All of those things. And you also like aren't locked into the color. So let's say we wanted, I'm going to do the color picker, the blue down here instead. Perfect. Change that, save edits and go back. And so each one of these you can make work for you. And then you just simply go to next and download these as a zip file. So that's awesome. Easy.
Brian just signed up on the free version.
Good. There's your weekend sorted for you, Brian. I feel like you'll be busy with that. That's awesome. We're happy to have you in the Bookbrush family. Let me click on collections here in the lower left and click see all. So these are really neat. The two I'll highlight here, Summer Vacay mock-up bundle. And those are just the straight up mock-ups without the text, but you can add it. And then the summertime template bundle, and I'll differentiate mock-up are like the straight mock-ups. Template have more of the text and things, and they're both really cool. But we'll come in here. And I think since we already had the book selected, it will pop in here. And it also it remembers that we like Happy Monkey. And so slowly but surely, maybe it's taken a minute to get the book. There we go. It's still probably thinking because I loaded a whole bunch of them, but it'll drop your book into all of these. And then you can download or pick and choose. Like if you do not need watermelon one, you can just delete that one particular one and do a whole bunch of these. So this is the 2.0 version. And people really like being able to do that. So I still wanted to squeeze in Amazon A+ real quick. I think we're good on time here. We'll go back to home.
Absolutely.
So, go ahead.
Sure, you guys can see how I ended up with 100 of those by accident.
It was like accidentally on purpose, maybe.
Exactly.
So, if anybody isn't that familiar with the Amazon A+, I'm going to talk about that for a second. So the one that we see a lot of and that's really popular is the stacked, 3 stacked images. And I'm going to toggle over to the Amazon example. So this is Amazon's page. And this is what it looks like. This from the publisher section, there are 3 stacked images that make one whole picture. And it was late last summer when Amazon added this ability for independent people. If you have access to your KDP dashboard, you can add these graphics. Well, then people didn't know where to make them. And this was a challenge if you couldn't make them all at once, because how do you line that up? And so we came along and added this template here where you're creating all 3 at once. So if we put in, let's go to background. I'm going to search couple just for an example here. And let's try these lovebirds here. So I'm going to resize this just a little bit. You can see what's outside the area. So basically now these green lines are going to be the dividers. So you'll end up with like these 3 images, just like Amazon is showing. But it's lined up really nicely. So you're not doing the guesswork of scooching the background up and down and hoping that it lines up nicely. This will just break it into 3 images for you. You can add your text and things in here if you want to. You can do it in Amazon, but you don't have as much control. And in here, you can put the text wherever you want it, and then it'll be included in your images. So, you know, if you have Bookbrush, this is something that's included on all the paid plans, and it's a really nice idea to do. For right now, I feel like in Amazon, it might help you stand out. And then as more people do it, it will help you fit in. So it's really win-win, and not that hard to do here in Bookbrush. So I wanted to talk about that. And then I don't even know if Katrina has seen this yet. We added a QR code generator last week. So I thought, let's throw that in. It doesn't apply to the Amazon A+, but we can talk about it.
It was just last week?
Maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
Because I grabbed
when you're having fun.
As soon as I saw that, I grabbed that. I already have a QR code made. It goes into my books. I usually do that anyway. By the way, if you're formatting your books for print, the QR code is such an asset for selling your next book, because they just scan it, click buy, and it's done. It goes right to your book, and it's done, and it's great, and it's beautiful. Well, and now you could do it with Bookbrush.
It's in the book, but you have control of where, like if you've linked it to your website, you can always keep updating the website. So it's like an evergreen way of sending people to the right spot. Another place that people are doing them.
Newsletter.
A newsletter, and then I thought like we could do it on like on a business card or a bookmark, like anywhere that you have a print item that you want to be able to share more information, then you can embed whatever you need to in this QR code, and that gets a way that they can take the information with them and scan it whenever's good for them. So yeah, you're right. It's probably been 2 weeks. We have so much fun over here. It's hard to remember, but these live in the elements.
Yeah, I told you before, every time I turn around, you guys are updating something. And, that's what sold, that might sound silly, but that's what sold me on getting the larger packages, because I knew there would always be something else, something better, something, because every time I turn around, you guys are doing something else. It's awesome. And you guys are really making our lives so much easier.
Well, as long as I'm here, I don't mind spilling the beans on one of our next things that's coming. So when you have the different elements in there, sometimes it's hard to see the add the plus button for text or the up and down arrows. They're going to all be on the side. So it'll be much easier to grab and layer and do all of those things. And I believe there's going to be grouping and cropping coming out in July, which will be awesome. So it's in it with our dev team. It's coming soon. So that's kind of fun to know. All right, so if you want to do a QR code, come over here to Elements, click Create a QR code, and then you simply just paste in your URL. So I think I grabbed the URL for our YouTube playlist. It doesn't matter what we put in, but we'll just click Generate here. Then click Save QR code. And then it's down here, and there's my QR code. So now every time I come back, it's already in here. I can click and add it to graphics. You don't want it on your Facebook graphics and things like that. It's more for a print environment, but it's easy to have it in here for anything that you're creating. And you don't have to go somewhere else and do it. You can have it right in here to do. So
imports into Atticus, by the way.
Yes. Yes, very good point. All those Atticus images, the page breaks and ornamental things, plus QR code, any element you need, you can upload right into Atticus. So very cool. Let's see how much time do we have here?
I think we've got in about 15.
Okay, so let's see. It's hard to pick and choose. Um,
But we can come back after the break if you want to jump into anything else. There is no limit.
This will probably be my last one. I have another webinar today. It's a romance writers group. I stack my Saturdays are popular for writing conferences and groups. It's not odd for me to have more than one. This
That's
one's
awesome.
an RWA chapter after you guys, so I can't come back again. But let's see, we can do. Otherwise, I would. You know what? Let's make sure I talk about the plans and the coupon code so we don't run out of time here.
Good idea.
Now go to home. I don't always have such an interactive, like this is so fun, like having a co-host with me. Let's talk about the plans and pricing. So along the top here on the homepage, so when you're new, this is what it looks like. You can come up to the top and click pricing. So start the free plan. And then if you want more features and bells and whistles, we have 3 tiers, the plus, the gold, and the platinum. They're all paid yearly. So you're just going to make one annual payment. Which I think is probably the handiest way because you're going to use this monthly. You're always going to need graphics and things like that. So you'll buy an annual subscription. The plus plan is $99 a year, and you get unlimited downloads in the custom creator, and you have all the animation, video background, and you can do book covers. So, and I'll show you, we have sessions on book covers so that you can, if you do need to learn about making a book cover, you can get information on that. You can do ebook, print, and print can be hardcover or paperback. And then we have audio as well. The gold plan is the most popular. It's $146 a year, and it is the most popular because it has those instant mock-ups that people love, and then also a box set creator feature in there too. The platinum plan is paid yearly for $246, and it's really a game changer because it includes the book trailers, so you can do those, and you have 10 background removal credits per month. So that process we did with the animated email signature where I brought in a picture of me, that would be 1 background removal credit. But then once I'm in the account or, the image, you can use it over and over again. So it really only costs a credit once to do. And those accumulate each month. So, if you think you're going to use background removal, I would weigh the difference between gold and platinum. You can buy 50 credits for $40 on any paid plan, but the difference between gold and platinum would also get you the trailers and things. So that may be, just weigh your options there. Those don't expire. So you don't have to rush around on the 30th and remove the background from 10 things. They'll be there when you need them. So those are the plans. If anybody has questions on those, let me know.
I can say too, guys, if you're not using your black background removal tools, if you do get the platinum and you don't use them for a specific couple of months for some reason, you just don't need it, they do accumulate so that if you do have a run where you do need it, it works out. You'll be able to use that to customize your images really quickly. And like I said before, I have actually used the background removal for various other programs as well. Their background removal is incredible. It is absolutely worth it. I have only been dangerously close to running out of background removal credits once.
But I bet you created some cool stuff in the process. So,
oh yeah.
And it works on any photo you want to bring in. So I want to mention, if you purchase a photo of like a person or a couple that you want to use on a book cover, or maybe you have the images from your cover, but you want to use those folks to make other graphics like the Amazon A Plus or those things, you can bring those in. I see a lot of those shirtless guys in kilts in here. You can bring that in, whatever your genre is, that will work. So that's kind of a neat feature. And there's other ways to do it out there, but it's hard. This is a click.
Yes. And that's exactly why I love it. I absolutely play with it. I mean, I've been using GIMP for years. As a matter of fact, I just did a demonstration last night on how to use GIMP to make a book cover. and how to use a single image and adapt it and make it your own. However, that was because we were focusing on free tools. This is one of those investments that I have made in my author career that I will never regret, ever. And then I looked at the templates the other day and saw that you also offered the podcast templates now, and you offer, which by the way, I took advantage of.
Yay!
And you have like a host of new templates, well, new to me templates that I went through. And if anybody is listening and paying attention or even remotely on the fence, just get it on the bottom tier if you can swing it. I'm not talking the free, I'm talking the first step up. If you can do it, do it. It is going to be worth it. You will find yourself coming back to this. You might not use it the first couple of days, but after you start using it, you will be addicted, because as I call it a time sink, but it's not the kind of time sink where you don't come out with more stuff than you would have. For the time that it spent me to make those 100 mock-ups, if I had tried to make one mock-up on GIMP, it would have taken me probably about the same amount of time. And instead, I downloaded 100 of them, and some of them were animated. So completely customized the way I want them. So for someone who is using it and will use it consistently, I sat down, many of our stream know Kindar, the Tiger Writes, who's another streamer. And he's, I think I mentioned to you, he's someone who doesn't like marketing. So he understands it's part of what you have to do to be an author. So that part he gets, but he's not quick to do this. So I was like, okay, well, you know what? I've already uploaded his cover before, and I sat down and I started playing with it. The next thing I sent him like 10 or 15 covers or mock-ups. So this doesn't take very long. You will use this. You will be addicted to it. And for the time it takes to make this thing in a lot of these other tools versus what you do in Bookbrush, this is such a blessing and a time saver and an option. And like I was saying earlier, there's always something new. I jumped on that QR code. I saw that.
Yeah. We were pretty excited to launch that because for the people who are already using it, it's handy that it's all in one spot. And then for our folks who weren't familiar, it was a really nice opportunity for them to be able to have access to that right in the tool too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go down here on the left-hand side. This is the main page. If you are thinking about Bookbrush and you want to learn more, this webinars section here, these are free. And we've updated this to where you can join the next class, or you can just watch the recording of the previous session when you need it. So like right now, if you need to know more about Cover Creator this weekend, you're going to be tied up with the conduit. So that might not, but maybe by Monday, you can click watch a recording now and it will take you to the most recent session. And those are like 30-ish minutes that do one tool at a time. So we've tried to make it where it's on demand. So if you need these things, you can watch these and they're free. Or join my next session. So if you want to ask questions, that's great too. But it gives you just a chance to learn more. It might help you decide if you want to upgrade, to which plan and things. And then I'll do the coupon code here. So I'm going to go into the custom creator, and when you save your projects and things, there are folders up here. So you can keep organized by making folders for different promos, different books, different seasons. And that's where I hid your coupon code. So I have a folder called Holiday, and our coupon code is going to be a 15% lifetime discount on any new paid plan or an upgrade. So by lifetime, that means you get 15% off when you use the code this time and each year at your renewal. So it's not a one-time lifetime payment, but you lock in that discount for each year. The code is just Conduit, so it's easy. And then I decided to add a little extra. So if you use it this weekend, I'll add in 5 free background removal credits because it's cool and it's something fun. But the coupon code itself does not expire because we know people are in different places in their writing journey. And so if it's not the right time for you this weekend, you can save that code and use it whenever. But if you do use it this weekend, I'll put those in. I'm going to do it manually, and I do like to sleep at night. So if it's late tonight, I'll look for it and then I'll do it. If it's later in the evening, I'll do it the next morning so you can get it. Katrina doesn't sound like she's been sleeping, but I do need my need my sleep.
I'll
So
catch up on
there's
that Monday.
yes. So there's that for you. So for anybody that's on, you can do that coupon code. So that's there for you. Trying to think of other little perks and things. There's just so many hidden gems in here that that you come through and it's like, oh, I would love to be making book plates, but I hadn't thought about it. Well, that's a great way to, for the price of a stamp, ship out something personal instead of shipping your whole book. So things like that are kind of neat.
And you guys are so gonna love this. I mean, you might have thought about you doing YouTube. You can click over here, set up a really short YouTube video, and be done in a few minutes. And if you want a 3-minute long video, just add more video to the trailer thing, and add whatever you want to it. On Twitch, Brian, for example, does a fantastic job at creating an interactive program where he and his streamers or those in the stream write together, and then they share what they created in a period of time. He could create an ad for that. Hint, hint.
Absolutely, Brian. No pressure.
And take that YouTube video and direct it back to your Twitch and give them your time and a place. And that'll take you maybe 15 minutes if you're being picky, like some people I know. So, there's just so many uses for this. I love that they also cater to the Atticus, because like I said, that QR code there's a QR code in all my print books, at least one. It either goes to my next books or it goes to my newsletter. And like you suggested, I'll probably begin directing to my website now that my website has my books for sale on them. You've got TikTok. TikTok is a wonderful opportunity to just connect. It's a little bit different than what most of us are used to doing. And, it takes you a few minutes. This is just awesome.
We love creating cool stuff for authors. So you can try different stuff, get out there and create different things with the tools in here. And they all kind of work the same. If you're doing a cover or graphics, each you get in here, you'll see they're very similar. So there's not a steep learning curve and you can create lots of cool stuff.
If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat before we wrap this up, so that we can ask them to Kathleen. And if not, I'll email her if I don't have an answer on my own afterwards.
Absolutely. And if you are in the tools here, anytime you're in here, in the top stripe, there's a question mark that says help. And if that's you and you need help, you can search our FAQs, and then under contact us, there's also a nice little drop down where you can pick the type of question you have and it will send it into our team. So I answer most of those myself because I can't help myself. But if it's more techie than me, our development team can jump in there for you too.
So you guys get to meet the person on the stream who does most answers. On a sincere note, it was such the one time that I have ever submitted to questions. It was just refreshing that a human being got back to me instead of, hey, go check out this form, or hey, go do this thing. It was instead,
we're not a bot, we're people. We have real answers for you.
Bookbrush savings code conduit with 5 background. We're going to add this actually to the treasure trove, guys.
Perfect. And that will work to step up too. So like if you're on Plus now and you decided you want to go for either the gold or the platinum, it'll just calculate the prorated amount for the remainder of your plan year. And you could use that code to do that too.
Completely worth it, guys. Seriously, I don't think I've said that enough. But thank you so much for hanging out, Kathleen.
This was awesome. What a great way to spend a rainy Saturday morning.
Right?
Showing off Bookbrush. I have thunder here. I don't know about you.
Not yet, but I'm sure I'll have your thunder in a couple of hours.
I think it's headed your way. Yep. All right. I'll stop the screen sharing. So I'll give you that back.
Thank you so much, guys. And thank you for reactivating the stream elements, Brian. Uh, and we are tying things up. If you guys need anything, like I said, you guys can continue to ask me questions. I will answer what I can. And what I can't, I know how to get a hold of Kathleen as she's moving on to another wonderful presentation.
It's a busy day for on all sides here. What an awesome
Yeah.
day.
It's exactly the kind of day you want a weekend to be. Not boring.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see
All
you the
right.
next time I
Okay.
get to connect with you.
Sounds good. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye. All right, my friends, I am going to take a quick 10-minute break. We're going to make some shifts. And then we're going to go into a chill and chat. We have an interview at a half an hour with RPG Dinosaur Bob. If you do not know him as a streamer, I recommend you definitely go check out his channel. We're going to be discussing science fiction and what science fiction has inspired in science. I'm kind of excited about this one. So we will connect again in about 10 minutes, and I am really looking forward to talking to you then. See you in a bit.
Recordings.
commence with the sprint. Good luck. Good luck.
Size it says thank you. Size it says thank you. Thank you, Des. And I apologize for that taking much longer than I thought it would. Thank you, Des. And I apologize for that taking much longer. I had to handle some unexpected stuffs and things. I had to handle some unexpected stuffs and things. Is there? Unexpected stuffs and things. Is there? Okay, is the echo in the speakers or my voice, or both? Okay, is the echo in the speakers or my voice, or both? That is weird. It shouldn't be. It's in my headphones. Shouldn't be. It's in my headphones. Okay, are you still hearing the echo? Are you still hearing? That looks like you are. Okay, let's figure this out before we go back get into the interview. And we'll make whatever adjustments we need to make to accommodate the interviews today. This is a lot more relaxed than I thought it was going to be, and it works out great. Today, a lot more. Okay. Did that fix it? Okay. Did that fix it? Then I had the wrong speaker selected. That's a whole lot easier to deal with. Then I had the wrong speaker selected. That's a whole lot easier to deal with. All right, Bob. Let's do it this way. Actually, I got to do this. Well, thank you, Games. We are going to go through Discord. Hello, Siobhan. Uh-oh. We are going to go through Discord. Hello, Siobhan. I am starting a voice call.
Okay. I can hear you. Can you hear me? I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is it ugly clipping or messy? Because sometimes Discord has trouble. I might have to make a few tweaks on my side. Discord has trouble. I might have to make a few tweaks on my side. Is it better? Is it any better now? Is it better? Is it any better now? Hold on. How about now? Hold on. Okay. How about now? For some reason, Discord and only Discord requires that I drop the gating limit on my voice meter. I don't know why it seems more sensitive or messy, but am I still clippy now? Hold on. Hold on. Let's take the clipping off entirely. How's that? Let's take the clipping off entirely. How's that? Right. But are they hearing an echo now of your voice again? This time it would be through my system. Hopefully not. But are they hearing an echo now of your voice again? This time it would be through my system. Hopefully not. Okay, we can fix that. Okay, we can fix that. Hmm. Okay, I can try to fix some of that. I'm sure actually I've removed the gate. Okay, I can try to fix some of that. There's really nothing else I can do. Like I said, I have this problem with Discord all the time. Just Discord. I'm sorry, I'm hearing you.
Okay, Daz isn't hearing
Uh,
me.
I'm sorry, I'm hearing you.
Okay, Daz isn't hearing me. Okay, so today has been all about tech issues.
If I have to, I'll put my headphones on. I can put my face on too, by the way. Uh,
Discord doesn't like to share the video stream with me, so you will be the only person on. Actually, no, wait a minute. I bet I could do something. I don't know why I didn't do that in the first place. Oh, I know, because I didn't figure I was going to need to. That's why. I'm all right.
you want to
Is
just
that
do it on voice?
what?
That's fine.
I'm just going to add myself to the side, I think. Maybe. If it'll show me. It does not want to show me. Great. I have Discord up, and neither of them want to use my webcam. Or, no, let me rephrase that. They both want to use my webcam. And it doesn't work that way.
All right, I'll on video. This works too. If I have to, in fact, now that I've done that, give me just one more second. Um, as long as I'm not on camera, I can put my headphones on and make sure that there's no echo.
Okay.
As long as I'm not on camera, I can put my headphones on and make sure that there's no echo. All right, is that where I need to be, or is this working?
You are garbled again.
All right, how about now?
Not nearly as much.
Better?
Or noticeable. Much better.
How about now? Okay. I think we're gonna have to go with that. Is it like garbled, like overdriving garbled, or clipping? I can't do anything about. I've removed the gate. Uh, can do this. This will make me a little quieter, but it might remove any overdriving. How about now?
Yes, that's good. That's good.
Okay. Still garbled. Well, the garbled, unfortunately, the garbling is Discord.
Yeah.
I can assure you, if I was using Zoom, Google Meet, or anything else, I would be perfectly fine right now. Discord is just plain sucky.
Yeah. This is where Discord becomes a bear. And if I could use Zoom and everything else, I would. But I only have a limited finite time on Zoom, and I'm still waiting for it to finish processing the video from the Bookbrush stuff. So,
Okay, yeah.
um, but this is gonna be fun.
Yep. Discord is mean to bugs. Yes, it is. So what do we want to talk about?
Well, the goal. Oh, that's what I was putting on the text. That was the text I was putting on the screen. Um that I didn't do yet. Yeah. Well, first off, do you want to introduce yourself? I know realize that most of our community overlaps, so they probably all know you. But just for those who don't know you.
Okay, I am RPG Dinosaur Bob. The dinosaur is a literal opponent of pain. I'm the older soul endeavor. Um, I have been world building and game mastering for 45 years. Um, let's see, what else do we want to say about me? I've stuck my first toe in the water of creative writing in April. I have completed the first draft of my first ever book.
Yay.
July is going to be fun. That's when I get to put it on the rack and torture it. Among other things, I have a busy July planned. You can catch me on Twitch as RPG Dinosaur Bob. You can find me in World Anvil as RPG Dinosaur Bob. World Anvil is one of the reasons I decided I could do everything I'm doing. I am currently primarily working on, besides the book I mentioned, the book takes place in a world called Carterion, which is a world of my creation, which is still an ongoing creation, and which will eventually produce more than a few publishable role-playing game components, both
Yay.
for actual modules and main setting. And stuff.
That, that is awesome. I know. Do you have any kind of timeline for releasing your first book?
I'm kind of hoping right now I'm tentatively thinking March 2022.
2023?
But I've never 2023 rather, yeah. But I haven't gone through this process yet. I don't know how it's going to go. So it's a very soft target, put it that way. I'm not going to lose any sleep over having to move.
That's good. And good to have a target.
I do plan on first drafting book 2 during Nano in November.
Yay.
So, so I'll want to have book 1, well along the way by then. But I haven't really even started to think about exactly how I'm going to publish it, or I want to get it through at least an edit cycle or two, and a couple of alpha or beta readers, whichever you want to call them, before I start worrying about dealing with um, the mechanics of actually getting it published.
Awesome.
So what's saying? What confuses me is why it's mean in that specific way. Yeah. Well, I'm just answering Mets and Daz. Since I started using the Yeti mic and the voice meter software, I've had no trouble with anything but Discord. And I have this Discord trouble with game groups that I'm on, all kinds of other things. It's a non-problem for streaming. It's a non-problem for everything else. As it is, I'm going to have to go back and make undo all corrections that I just made now before I do my next streams. It's just Discord. I don't know what it is or why, but, but let's get past that anyway. Hopefully I'm understandable.
You are to me, hopefully to the rest of the stream.
Yeah, yeah.